Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Brocrafting. NYC Cooper here. I am here with Rasadat, as always.
Uh, how's it going, everybody?
We haven't been on in a while. We haven't recorded in a while because we haven't had time to get together and play. So um, we try to do as much boring work as possible in the meantime. You'll notice several things that are new additions. I think the most obvious is probably that our entire floor is cobblestone, which was a Rasadat project that he was working on by himself. Um,
Yay me.
but it's nice because we have a little stairwell over here that we can go down and we can see the seedy underbelly of our little home here. So this is I'll explain some of this piping that we have here in a second when we go back upstairs. But this will help us run power and item ducts and things like that a lot more easily than having to dig down and do all that kind of fun stuff. So I
And
know
it
that.
and it gave us lots and lots and lots of stacks of dust to sift.
Oh yeah. So now we have a lot of resources that we probably won't run out of for a very long time. Speaking of resources, the second largest addition is probably our new sorting wall. We have this giant wall of better barrels. Better barrels are relatively inexpensive. They are just wood, so they're easy to make a whole bunch of. And really, I didn't even notice, but I was counting the other day, and this is exactly like the almost exactly the number of slots you have in your inventory are the configuration of our barrels here. There's one extra column, but other than that, it's like one giant inventory, which is kind of cool. So, quick explanation of what we got going on here. We locked all of the barrels so that items wouldn't automatically get filled, and the ones that are empty. Do you remember how to do that? Because I don't remember how we actually lock them. It's a sneak something, I think.
Yes.
And I honestly don't remember what it was. But while you're trying to figure that out, I'm going to show the backside here. So basically, what we have is just item ducts. Nothing special, just item ducts all set um, to pull items, or not to pull items, to place items in inventory, and it's just a wall of item ducts. Very very simple. These all of these item ducts go down, and this is where our underneath uh, area helps. So all that entire wall of item ducts comes through this one pipeline. This pipeline is tied directly back here to this chest that we have hooked up to our auto sifting situation. So all of our items get sifted, and once they fill this chest, if they have somewhere on this wall with a inventory that accepts that type of item, it automatically gets sent there. So now our auto sift has been taken up a notch, and everything that gets sifted, there's like one or two things I think we have left that don't have anywhere to go, but it keeps that chest clear, so we don't have to keep cleaning it out. So
Okay, I
then,
figured out.
okay,
Sorry.
no good.
You shift sneak with an empty hand.
Ah, and right click. So shift sneak with an empty hand and right click, and it will lock it on whatever you have in there. You can put items in there once it's locked. You are able to put items in there without unlocking it. But if you'll notice, this has 0 items in it. If it were unlocked, I put an item in it. You take it out. Oh, see, now that it's unlocked, it's filling up with stuff that we don't want it to fill up with. Um, see this. So if you leave it unlocked, it just fills with the next item that is available to it, which is not what you want, because then any item that you don't have a place for it to go, it's just going to start randomly filling up space. So let's lock that back. But what that does is, even if you use all of something that's in here, like if I take all this string, it still will only accept string and be reserved for string, and that allows you to not have to use servos in your item ducks because servos, they're not super expensive, but early on in the game they are very expensive. So this is a sorting method that you can use really early in the game because item ducks are really cheap, better barrels are really cheap. This is an easy, cheap early game option to sort your on, and it works really, really well. I'm sweating, so I'm going to get some water. So that's another big thing that we've done kind of offline because the whole process of building it is not a, it's not very complicated, and b, it's not all that exciting. Um, there are I'm trying to talk and do this at the same time. There are some items that we want. For instance, all of our ores, everything that we use to make our metals, those obviously have to get combined into groups of 4 to make. I think I have some in here. To make the dusts to then smelt into your metals. And to avoid doing that by hand, what we have is we have from our main chest that takes everything that we sift. That feeds into this chest over here. And I actually have put a servo into this item duct because we only want items in here that are going to that we can use to turn into ores. So for instance, we have 2. I don't know if you can see it through the crack, but we have this item duct that has a servo in it, so we can filter only lead, silver, aluminum, those types of things can be put into this chest. And then also we have our broken ores that will go into this chest. And then this chest is sitting to the left of this, if I can click on this auto packager. And all these things are in the way, so I can't actually hover over it and show. Oh, there it is, auto packager. So what this does is it takes anything that can be packaged or condensed from multiple of, for instance, pulverized gold ore. You put 4 of them in a row and you get gold dust. Any of those items it will pull from the chest on the left and put on the chest on the right. So anytime we get 4 of any of these things, it automatically combines them and puts them in here in a dust form. And then we can pump that directly out and into this furnace, which then automatically turns it into a metal and then gets pumped back out and into our auto sorting better barrel system over here. And you can see all of our lovely high quantities of metal that we have. Then we power that. There will be a more efficient way to power that soon. But right now I just have a survivalist generator here that is powering the auto packager. But I also have in this, I keep wood planks in here, and I just pump out the wood planks both as fuel for the survivalist generator right here. That's pumping in wood for fuel, and also pumping in wood for fuel for the furnace. It's not the most efficient fuel to burn, but right now we have a lot of it, so I just keep this chest full, and it will keep burning and keep going for a pretty long time. So I think those are the main additions that we've got. Everything else, I believe, is the same. There's a Rosadop actually also enclosed our little farm, which I think has grown a little bit since the last time we were on. So this is our new and improved farm. This outputs everything we need to make 3 different types of peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. And that's kind of all we make. And it actually produces more than enough to keep both of us well fed. So if you see in here, we've got kiwi jelly sandwiches, PB&J jelly sandwiches, cranberry jelly sandwiches, and apple jelly just left over from some apples that we get from chopping leaves and such. So this is what we were talking about before. If you will recall, once you get to a certain point, you will only need jelly sandwiches to survive, because even just with 4 variations, it's enough to not run into the hunger overhaul situation. So there's that. What we're going to do now is we're going to move forward with continuing our pressure tasks. So what we're going to do is do the exposure task Um, which, oh, never mind. Yeah, we're going to do the exposure test. So basically, we're trying to make an empty PCB. But in order to do that, we need compressed iron and plastic to go into our pressure chamber. You'll notice I added a few more air compressors to increase the rate at which we build pressure, just to kind of give us a little leg up a little bit so we can do this pretty quickly. So I'm going to go ahead and throw some fuel in here. And I already have in here compressed iron, and there's already a PCB in here because Ross got ahead of us a little bit, but he didn't complete the task, so it's okay.
Yeah, I wanted you guys to actually see it.
Yeah, because this is one of the things that's a little more interesting. Now, before we throw these two items in here, we have to come over here to our pressure chamber interface, and we need to filter what's coming out. You can make it anything. I usually just type in a bunch of letters, which means it's not going to pull anything out because obviously nothing starts with those letters. And that way I can throw my ingredients over here. It'll get pumped into this interface, and we can actually see this will open up. So it's going to close, it's going to open, it's going to drop in your plastic, and it's going to do the same thing again with the compressed iron. Hopefully. Maybe.
One thing to be aware of, and I don't know if we mentioned this when we set this guy up, is that you have to make sure that whatever you're doing in there is correct and that you don't walk away with it unfinished for very long, because your items will disappear inside that pressure chamber if you leave it alone.
They will overpressurize. You can see, so you saw what just happened there. Once I got rid of the letters that I had just randomly typed in, it allowed the interface to pull out our empty PCB. Because what would have happened if we didn't type in anything there, we didn't have any filter on, it would have immediately pulled out the plastic that went in first, and then it would have immediately pulled out the compressed iron, and nothing would have happened. So, and also, another very important thing, you have to remove the fuel that you're burning in your air compressor before walking away, because it will explode all this piping up here, and you'll have to build all this again if it overpressurizes. That's where there's a red section on the dial. Red is bad. So now we have our empty PCB. We can go into our quest. Manual detect that. We got that. So now we got to do step 2. We need to toss the empty PCB into a UV light box. So next, we need a UV light box. And I'm just going to type this in here. And we need redstone lamp, PCB blueprints, and some tubing and some compressed iron. So PCB blueprint is 8 emeralds surrounding a compressed iron ingot. Have you made this already? Cross it out.
I don't believe so.
Okay. I just want to check really quickly. We need emeralds for this other thing too, and I want to make sure we have enough. Yeah, we only need 1 for making the print. So we spent a lot of time getting together some emeralds. To get emeralds, you gotta sift gravel. To get gravel, you got to use an ex nihilo hammer on cobblestone. And I think I went through probably 15 64 stacks of gravel to get that many emeralds. So it is tough work to do. You could get luckier because it is a chance based thing. But be prepared to do a lot of sitting around hacking away at some cobblestone. All right, so we got our PCB blueprint. We also need redstone lamps, which is just glowstone with some redstone. And luckily we have redstone there. And over here, glowstone is one of our sorted items. So see how easy that is to just grab. Let's go over here. Let's do this. Let's do this. Just wanted to double check. We need 3 of these, I think. So we're going to make 3 of those. The next thing we need is pressure tubes and compressed iron, which we have both of. So I think, in theory, I should be able to pull this over here and do the old shift click on that. Yep, and there we go. UV light box. Now, I remember this being slightly tricky to get it in the right spot to where it works. Maybe it's not as tricky as I thought it was, but let's see. Can I put it right here? I cannot. Don't think that connects, and I hope I can break this without actually breaking it. And I can. It's great. So I'm going to get another tube, another pressure tube, which I believe is just a compressed iron and a circle. Nope, it is not. I think I need glass for that, don't I?
For the pressure tube, I don't think so.
I have pressure tubes in my inventory. It doesn't matter.
Oh, yeah.
I just
hang one off the corner there, so it's hanging kind of off the front of the. Yep.
Boom. There we go. That is correct. The other way we had it would not have worked. All right, so we have our UV light box, and let's see. I forget what our actual task is. Oh, it's to make an empty PCB, which requires putting an empty PCB into the UV light box. Then we get an empty PCB that actually has a chance of being etched. And for the record, I don't know if anybody's ever done this before, but this is legit how you make a PCB if you were to make one at home. This process that we're going through. So it's pretty cool, whoever came up with this mod, that it works that way. So we throw a PCB in here, and it will immediately start increasing in etch success chance. We're at 2%.
You can see the nifty UV bulbs light up.
Mm-hmm. So if I take it out, you can see they're not lit. And when I put it back in, they are lit. Now, with this PCB etch success chance rate, I always do 100% chance because I don't want to waste the time and the resources that it costs to make an empty PCB, and the time that it takes to sit your PCB in your etchant bath, only for it not to be successful. So basically what it means is once you go to the next step, which is to then put acid or drop this in an etchant solution, it's going to take it takes a few minutes. I think it takes 3 minutes. I think
it's a full 5 minutes.
Is it a full 5?
Because you have to be careful because the timeout for a floating entity in game is 5 minutes before the world despawns it. You got to pick it up and throw it back down, or it will despawn.
Yep, you definitely do. So because of that, anyway, the percent chance is the percentage chance that the etch will be successful when you throw. I mean, like it says, etch success chance. So right now, if I were to pick this up and throw it in a thing of etchant, it would only have a 15% chance of actually being successful. So I don't like to take that chance. I just leave it in there. Now I don't know. You may know the answer to this, Rasada. If you leave your PCB in the UV box, will it hurt it?
I don't think so. I think it also protects it from despawning.
And you can actually see the graphics are actually done really well too. You can see that pattern, which what do they call it? A PCB blueprint that we actually had to make this UV box. They actually set your your blueprint on top of the PCB that you put in there, which again is the actual way that you would create one of these. So somebody went into a lot of effort to make these graphics. So while that's happening, do I want to go ahead and make the etchant solution? I think I do. So I know at some point we're going to need the etchant solution. So that's part of what we're doing here. These are the items that we're going to need, and this really walks you through it really simply. Plastic, emerald, etchant acid bucket, and compressed iron. I don't think we have the etchant acid bucket yet, so let's do that. Etchant is with an A. No, it's not. Why do I not know how to spell all of a sudden? Oh, etching. I thought it was etchant. That's why. Etching. There we go. There it is. Etching acid bucket. So, 2 spider eyes, water bucket, 2 plastics, 2 rotten fleshes, and 2 gunpowders thrown in the pressure chamber will give you etching acid bucket. Now, in real life, this is where it differs a little bit. Obviously, you don't need spider eyes, rotten flesh, or gunpowder to make etching acid solution. I've never made it before. Actually, that's not true. I have made an etching acid solution, which is, for those of you who care, muriatic acid and never mind. I forget. I have a blog about it somewhere. Hydrogen peroxide. But it does not involve spider eyes or rotten flesh.
Strangely enough, muriatic acid is also the chemical that pool companies use if your pH is too high in your pool.
And why do we know this?
We know this because our family owns a pool and spa business.
We do. It's an exciting business. It's really not an exciting business. We've both worked there before, and I wouldn't say that it's. I wouldn't say it's tons of fun.
Everybody in our family tells us you do not want to be in this business, even though our family owns it.
Yeah. Do something else, please. Water. That's what I was going to get.
Oh, and I got that hooked back up, so it is producing.
Oh, nice. I see the drops of sweat, and it makes me sweat. Sweating in game makes me sweat in real life.
They probably make a pill for that.
It's also not freezing anymore in Boston, so that's nice. But the good news is, whether it's freezing or not, my brother and I will actually be in the same city next weekend.
For the first time in, what, 2 years?
Maybe 3.
Maybe 3. It's been a while.
It's been a long time. And I'm excited. I hope the weather's nice. I'm in Boston. We're going to be going down to Mississippi. I'm looking forward to some 70-degree weather, 70-something degree weather. Who knows? Maybe it'll be in the 80s. Mississippi's a strange place.
It's been really nice for the past 2 weeks, almost constantly, so there's a very good chance that you're going to get here and it's going to turn crappy.
Of course. I'll bring it with me,
And we will love you for it.
Gunpowder, bucket of water, plastic. That's what I don't have in my hand. But I do have some here.
Yeah, I think the high today was 84.
I think the high today was 45.
Sucker.
Whatever. At least it's not snowing anymore. Is that all the ingredients that I need? Did I put everything in there? Gunpowder. I think so. Yeah. I should be filling this back up with. Why can't I click on this anymore? Something has happened with my buttons. There we go. Let's see.
I didn't know if you realized this, but that pressure gauge that you have that we put out actually emits a redstone signal, and you can, based on the pressure, I believe it's twice whatever the pressure indicated. Like right now, it's about 2 3/4. It's going to put out a redstone signal equal to twice that. So at 3 psi, I believe it puts out a redstone signal of 6. You can use that to set up an automated dispensing machine for the air compressors. That when
fuel?
the pressure, to fuel. So when the pressure gets below some arbitrary value that you set with your redstone circuit, it will release fuel into the air compressor.
Nice, good to know. And that's something that you are, once you get later on in the game, you are definitely going to want to do, because you are not going to want to be sitting here monitoring the fuel of this, really annoying machine the whole time. All right, so we've got our etchant solution. Now we're really waiting on this empty PCB, but there's already an empty PCB in here. Oh wait, no, this one hasn't been UV'd either, so we do have to actually wait. So we only got a little bit more to go, but I'll pause and we'll come back.
Go ahead.
All right, so this is done, 100%. So we're going to pull it out. We're going to go to the quest book, sorry. Wrong quest. There we go. So we have done this. Manual detect. We get to claim a reward, get some more compressed iron, and some very, very important transistor and capacitors.
You will get tired of transistors and capacitors as we go along.
It's the worst. They are the worst. So that's done. Now we can go to Blueprint for Success. We have all of these things. Actually, I don't think I have them in my hand, so let me do that. I need one of these. I've already forgotten what I need. I have an emerald. I have the etching solution. I have all these things. So
you know that's a repeatable quest that we've done already, right?
Which one? Blueprint for Success?
That's correct.
I did not know that.
Yeah, that's how we got the PC blueprint in the first place.
Oh wait, where's my etchant bucket? Is it still in here? It is. Okay. There we go. All right, so now we get a PCB blueprint, which we just made before, um, which I guess would have probably been easier than using all those emeralds, but, what are you going to do? And a bucket, which we don't actually need at this point.
Well, they give it back to you because the bucket that you submitted got taken away.
Oh, I got you. Okay. Etching. So I already have, well, I had a bucket of etching solution, but since they took it away from me, we get to make another one, which means we need some more rotten flesh. We need some more spider eyes. The good news is for now, I don't really, we haven't gotten far enough to really know whether or not you have to do it in the future, but for now, you really only got to do this once. Once you get your etching, unless you want to repeat that task again, once you get your bucket of etching solution, you don't have to do that anymore. So we're going to come over here. We're going to type our little, this gets really annoying too, having to filter out to make sure your stuff doesn't come out the other side, but it's better than breaking a block every time you want to do it. So get some of that in there, 2 of these. What else? What else? Plastic, that's what it is. I went ahead and made some plastic. I also made a whole bunch more rain plant seeds. I'll need to go back and make some creeper plants and some squid plant seeds too, because we are going to use a lot of those. I'll put some more wood in here just for good measure. I like to keep 3 or 4 bars of pressure at all times so that you're not sitting and waiting on the pressure to build. But once you get your redstone situation hooked up where you're just automatically always at 4, it'll be much easier. Did I put everything in? Oh, I think it's still waiting. Was that the plastic?
Yeah, I think we have, I don't remember if we picked the speed upgrades before, but the speed upgrades definitely help with how quickly our little automated in-out system pulls and pushes through those pressure chamber walls.
The interface?
Yeah, the interface. That's what I was trying to say. Thank you. They're ridiculously slow without those upgrades, but with the upgrades, you can speed them up pretty quick and reduce your delay time.
You can stack them too. I'm not sure what the max stack speed is, but you can stack these.
It's a pretty good bit. They can cruise pretty good when you get them fully upgraded.
All right, so we have our etching acid bucket, so we can, I didn't actually pick it up yet. There we go. We can go ahead and manually detect that. Unassembled. So we need an unassembled PCB. Sorry for that brain fart delay. So I'm just going to do a little search here. And this is going to tell us that we need to have an assembly controller, which is kind of true. At some point you do need an assembly controller, but right now you don't. We're doing it the old school way, which is, where am I going to put this? I guess I'll put it, I guess I'll put it right here, but I can't put it there. I'll put it here. Actually, I don't think I can. I have to. All right, so this is going to take a little something. I need to make. We got a hole here now, so I need a little space to put this. So what I'm going to do is do this because we need a floor of some sort. So because you got to dump out the etching solution into a hole in the ground. So there's our hole. I'm going to take my etching solution and just bloop. There we go. And we're going to take this guy and we are going to throw it into the etchant solution. It is just going to float here. And this is what we were talking about earlier about having to watch it and pick it up. And while I'm talking, I'm going to go get some food. Watch it and pick it up because the time it takes to etch is maybe 10 seconds shorter than the time that it will take that to despawn. Did you just die?
I did.
You just died, and we have a wall built around our entire world.
Yeah, I got knocked off of it into the outside.
You have an arrow sticking out of your head
Yeah, spider snuck up behind me.
and shot you
I
with an
land.
arrow.
No, I landed in a pit full of mobs.
Oops. Oh, don't forget your shell constructor. Well, that stinks. I also don't think
I'll
you guys have seen the wall.
I'll
We'll
just
go out
hang
and
out
do
here
that.
until my shell finishes.
We'll go out and show you the wall when it's daylight. But the good news is
Watch out for the spider.
anywhere inside of our wall, you can see in the mini map this lovely, evenly spaced grid um, of what are they called? Glowstone nooks that rusted up so expertly placed. So now there's too much light in our wall for any mobs to spawn. So we don't have to deal with any mobs unless we go outside the wall. So
Like I did.
like he did. So we're completely protected in here. We can walk around here all night long, no worries, full capacity, which is a glorious thing. So let's check on this because we can't. We're going to come over here and this thing's going to be gone. Now, in order to retrieve this item, you have to jump down in the solution. When you do that, it is immediately going to start hurting you because it's acid. However, you don't want to. You'll note it. You can visually see when it's done, but just to show you, I'm going to jump down in there real quick, pick it up, and see. I mean, to start taking damage. Now I can see that the etching progress is at 41%. What this is also going to do is reset the timing on that despawn, so that if I'm a little bit late picking it up, it's not going to despawn. But you'll see the pattern appear on it in the graphic.
Of course, you could always do it the long and non-damaging way by taking a bucket and picking up the etching acid, then jumping down in the hole, and putting the etching acid back in the hole. It's a long, drawn-out process.
Yeah, but why do that when you're going to heal? Unless you're trying to etch PCBs while fighting mobs, there's really no point. And go with the process.
And I would recommend against that.
Yeah, I wouldn't do anything while you're fighting mobs. I wouldn't even fight mobs. I would just try to avoid that as much as possible. I want to double check.
Definitely don't fall off the wall into the outside of your compound with mobs in a pit.
So I'm going to hit pause real quick until this is finished. All right, so as you guys can see, you can actually see the printed pattern on the circuit board. I just want to show that you guys it really quick before it despawns, and now I can pick it up. Yep, see, that hurts. And now we have an unassembled PCB, and we can go ahead and we've completed that part, and now we have the last step, which is to make a printed circuit board. This is where those fantastically annoying transistors and capacitors come in handy.
I dropped mine into the chest, by the way.
Your printed circuit board?
No, my transistors and
okay.
capacitors.
So to make a printed circuit board, you need 3 capacitors and 3 transistors, which is, I believe, the exact number that we have. They do that on purpose. And I need a full crafting board. So this goes here. Actually, here, let me just do this the quick way. There we go. And yay, we get a printed circuit board. We get, as a reward, another printed circuit board, which is fantastic. But I don't know, did they take, no, so we get 2. So now we have 4. Well, no, we don't have 4, we have 3 total.
That also completes a quest in the first quest line, the end of the beginning, by the way.
Let's take a look. Basic survival. The end of the beginning. And what do we get for that? We get rubber tree seeds, which I'm sure is going to come in handy at some point. Slime plant and redstone and iron dust. Oh, no, I have to pick one.
Yep.
What did you pick?
I haven't yet. Why don't you get the rubber tree seeds and I'll get the slime plant?
Okay.
We're good on redstone.
Yeah, I'd say so. I'm going to just throw this in here. So now this is a big transition period now. Once you complete this quest, a lot of things are going to start to change because the printed circuit board is the key component in like every machine that in regular Minecraft, or I say regular Minecraft. Regular Minecraft to me is like modded Minecraft, that are relatively easy to make, and other regular mods. this PCB, this whole process that we just went through that takes for freaking ever, is the key component in everything, in pulverizers, in anything that uses electricity. You got to have a printed circuit board in. So now that we have three, we're going to be able to start doing some automated tree farming, which is going to be huge to keep our water supply up, as well as our dirt supply and our wood supply. So everything is going to start changing really quickly. But in the sake,
It also opened up a new quest line.
oh yeah, that's true.
Number,
I didn't even
number
show
4.
that. Go back. So technological revolution. We open. So yeah, the first thing is pretty difficult thing actually. So once you get the printed circuit board, you got to start making all these other logic expansions. And machine frame is the thing that is required in a lot of things, and the basis of a machine frame is a circuit board.
Yeah, those 3 things is like a step pictogram of what you're going to be making for every single machine you make. You're going to make a printed circuit board, and then turn it into an LX100 logic expansion, and then turn that into a machine frame, which you're then going to use to build finally your machine.
Right.
This is these 3 steps you go through every single time.
Unless it's a really advanced machine, and then you have to make, what is it, an LX200 logic expansion?
LX300.
LX300. They skip 200, go right to LX300, which takes like 3 LX100s, I think, actually.
Yeah, I think that's right.
And so it gets really difficult to do some basic electrical automated things. But now that we have that step, the good news is we now have, since we're playing together, that's a good thing about playing with a buddy, is we have the one that I just made, plus we each get one for the quest. So we have 3, which means we'll be able to make a planter, a farmer, and I don't know, probably a pulverizer.
Harvester, probably.
That's what I meant, a harvester and a planter, and then a pulverizer. Because what a pulverizer will do is we can feed cobblestone from this infinite cobblestone source, and start getting infinite gravel and dust without actually having to mine, which is pretty fantastic. So in the sake of keeping this short, we'll end this episode here. We'll probably start recording the next one immediately after, but that's kind of the thing that we wanted to get done in this episode. So unless you have any parting words, Russ it up. I'm going to wrap it up. I'm going to take that as either a no or his microphone doesn't work. So
I forgot to hit my push to talk.
Let's see.
I think what we'll probably do when we immediately start recording the next episode is preparing to go on an adventure. For you guys who aren't familiar with Crash Landing and what's coming up next, it will be a surprise to you. So yeah, stand by for that next episode.
It's exciting and dangerous stuff, so you're going to want to watch the next one.
Very dangerous.
All right, so that's it for now.
We will probably both die several times.
Yeah, we're definitely going to die. So join us for that, because you're not going to want to miss us dying and being humiliated in front of all of you.
Repeatedly.
So see you next time.